God bless Alai. Were you worried? Yeah, Alai fanatics. Was Nasty Nate not going to get an episode out in time for the championship? Had to do it, folks, because the playoffs have been great. This is, I think, the best playoffs so far for Battle Court. And we'll see what happens in the championship, because last year's championship game, to me, that's like the best championship. It essentially goes to overtime. And again, that final shot is one of the all-time shots in Battle Court. So perhaps the championship game does need to add a little something for it to fully go down as the best playoffs. But this was definitely the best semifinals by far. And you may be thinking to yourself, if you know your highlight, you're like, but Nathan, it was 4-2, 4-2. There was no 3-3 games. And that's where, you know what, folks? 4-2 game day, is a great game day. That's a great regulation game. Just because it's 4-2, and if that happens in the regular season, right, the Devils would have gotten 0 points. The Warriors would have gotten 0 points. But those were incredible games that both of them, these were regulation. To compare it to basketball, these were games where Devils Renegades, that's Nuggets coming back on OKC. Not that the Devils are really OKC, but they were favored. But the Renegades have that X factor. Go Cherry and go Anaga. Ooh, but we're gonna save that one, cover that one last, because I think the better game day was Warriors Fireballs. And that one, I mean, how many 3-set matches were in Fireball Warriors? Just you had your first Division 4 one going 3 sets with Lalu and Cabrera winning 5-6, 6-5, and then 6-3 to take it down. The Division 1 teams only went 2, but you had four 3-set game days. And let's see, the first time, even Jedin, and right off the top, I guess, do I want to already bring it up? Yes, I do want to already bring it up. Cabrera. Holy cow. Cabrera played 4 matches. And you know how there were 4 3-set matches? Every single match Cabrera played went to 3 sets. So the dude played 12 sets, over 100 points of highlight in a single day. And they came away with a win because Ron's out. And looking ahead to the championship, it looks like Ron's going to be out again. And they're again asking Cabrera to go 4. We'll talk about that later because we got to talk about what he did in the semifinals. The match of the game was Correa and Bradley versus Jedin and Cabrera. Went 3 sets, and it was every single match was neck and neck. Almost the full amount of points you could possibly have, except for that first set went 4-6, then 5-6, 5-6. And there was a ton of rallies in this. The second set, Correa and Bradley rallied to extend it to a third set. And in the third set, it was ooh, did the Fireballs... There was a moment where, if you're a Fireball fan, are you wondering, did we ask too much of Cabrera? Because he's gassed at this point. It's his 12th set of the day, and what's happened? It's 3-5. 3 attempts for Correa and Bradley to get it done. And they just couldn't get it done. And it was a great back and forth. Jedin played great. Jedin got a drop shot, and then there was a bobble, or a juggle, not a bobble, a juggle by Bradley to extend it to 5-5. Shout out Jedin. We've got to pause, because we have to acknowledge our former clone cartels, right? And we got to talk up Jedin as well. Jedin played incredible in that final set. Again, the drop shot was perfect. Got it to 4-5. The bobble. And in that final point, it was an incredible rally. It was a long rally. There was great shot making. And this is a Division 6 team where before I get to like the key shot and moment, I think this speaks to how much Battle Court has grown and improved the quality of play. Like the signature match on this game day was between two Division 6 teams. If you follow Battle Court, you know like it's entertaining, but there is like a drop off in the quality of play versus seeing like two Division 1 teams go at it versus sometimes two Division 6 teams. It can be a lot slower play like sometimes. Like I remember watching like Go Cherry go against, it was like Go Cherry, I don't remember, Go Cherry and Urbieta versus Inaki and Manu. And then the next one was like our Division 5 or 6 teams, and it was like watching a whole nother sport. But this was incredible. This was high caliber play from a Division 6 team. And it just goes to show how much this sport has improved, that a team like us, the Cyclones, I said to myself I wasn't going to talk any Cyclones because there's not anything to talk about. This is my one Cyclone moment, and then I'm going to go get off of this circle and bring it back to that final point. The Cyclones, a team on paper, you look at all that talent and you say that's a championship caliber team on paper, doesn't even make the playoffs because the quality of play has increased so much, and others have improved over these seasons, and we just haven't improved where others have. But that final point, it was really impressive. There was a lot of great shots, great catches. Cabrera made a great scoop to extend the point, and Bradley threw a great shot from the backcourt. That was just a laser going outside, and the catch by Jedin was a high caliber catch, well above, like, for a Division 6 player to make that catch. It was a fantastic catch, knowing that if he didn't make that catch, the game day goes into that overtime scenario. And guess what? Guess who would have been out there? It would have been Jedin and Cabrera again, because the Fireballs picked Jedin and Cabrera, because that's the advantage you get. If you're the higher seeded team, you get to pick who what division team you want to send out. So it would have been Cabrera going out for his 13th set again, and it would have been Correa and Bradley going up against him, having won like the last two sets. Anybody's game. Anything could have happened. Warriors could have pulled off the upset. But an incredible catch by Jedin, and then also it extends play, and not only that, he makes another catch outside and fires a cortada that was, Bradley couldn't get to it. It was a great shot, a great catch on the outside again, and a great kill shot by Jedin that was really hard for Bradley to get to, and it was just really impressive. It was impressive from Cabrera's standpoint, which, hey, Fireballs, if you don't lock him up, I'm going to push hard that we get Cabrera as our, which, sorry, Bueno is Division 5, but maybe we can get him at 6. I don't know, because of the little drop off there. More, I guess we got to talk about that later, but I'm high on Cabrera and what he just did. That's really impressive. So we have another semifinal, and that one again was 4-2. Not as many 3-set matches. I think only 2 went 3 on that game day. But for me, the match of the game day was Goanaga and Urbieta versus Ferranda and Benny. Again, it was the final match. Game day is on the line. And something else was on the line here that added higher stakes. Urbieta is retiring, which I didn't know that. I heard that when I watched, they mentioned it. I was like, oh my gosh, like Urbietta's retiring. I know Stu had mentioned that Ferranda's retiring. So this was like the last hurrah for both of these guys, no matter who won. Well, if Ferranda and Benny won, it would have been the Devils advancing, and I'll tell you why. But it was a great match. 6-4, pretty comfortable win in the first set for Goanaga and Urbieta. Second set, 4-1 Goanaga Urbieta. Things look bleak for the Devils. Right? 4-1. Ooh, they come all the way back and they win that set 6-5 to send it to a third set. Just great, incredible play. Even some unique stuff where at one point Benny came up to the front, and during a rally, like Benny was kind of playing the front quarter and Ferranda moved to the back. Like the communication between the two was great for them. And again, Goanaga and Urbieta, that's the best, I would say, are the best. They're the best Division 3 team. And Ferranda and Benny have been solid, a lot better. Again, that was a team where at the start of the year I was like, oh, I don't know about that team, but they've been better than expected. And here they pushed them. Set 3. What happens? Ferranda and Benny go up 4-1. And Stu, like, basically kind of called it. He's like, this is a moment where the Renegades got to remember they're the Renegades, and the Devils have to remember they're playing the Renegades. And he's like, how many rallies have we seen? This is basically, it's not a safe lead. You've got to wake up and not take anything for granted. And what happened? A quick point that kind of snapped the momentum. Just a tip. The ball came really quick to Ferranda, tipped it, didn't catch it, and boom. Got Goanaga on the serve, and they just took it from there. It's hard to think of like missed opportunities there. It was just like Goanaga was aggressive. I think it was 4-4, and he threw just a perfect straight outside shot, caught Ferranda and Benny off guard. They had no chance of getting it, pushed it to 5-4, and they just closed them out. And that was huge because when it's 4-1, like Stu mentioned it, the Renegades, like, it's time. You got to remember you're the Renegades, because if they didn't get that, it was over. Because I've talked about this. The Renegades have some of the best teams in Battle Court with the best record. They also have two of the worst. They are the worst teams in their division. Why? Because they have two teams that have not won a match. I think they're the only teams that have gone defeated. I think every division team at some point. Well, yes, if you it would so yes, it's a fact, cuz if they're defeated, then no one else can be defeated cuz they'd have a win? Is that actually no, yes, they would have a win because everybody's. Yes, I am correct. If Stan and Ben and I gotta go back in. It's Stan and Flores. They haven't won any games. And who was coming up? It was gonna be Nicholas and Kubala, which again, you got a Division 1 player. Nicholas and Kubala is solid at his division versus Stan and Ben, a team that has not won all year. So that would be lights out, game over. Because what happened? It's Nicholas and Kubala earlier, 6-0, 6-1. So when it's 4-1, woo, to come back from that, incredible. So that's why I am really impressed by the playoffs, and I'm excited for the championship here. So gonna talk some about it, break it down. Like, you could already kind of guess the analysis. You can chalk up, essentially, unless there's just a huge meltdown, you can give the Fireballs 2 points. And so the question is can the Fireballs get one more match? If they do that and they go to overtime, you feel very confident, because what is it? It's Stan and Ben again versus Lalu and Cabrera. A team Lalu and Cabrera, they're lights out team. Their record 9-2 on the year versus a winless team. So Fireballs, it's just like, can we get one? Can we steal one? So looking at all the teams, I was gonna like take the time to break down all the previous matchups and their records against each other, but I didn't have the time to do that. So Stan Flores versus Jedin and Cabrera, boom, Fireballs win, easy. Goanaga and Urbieta versus Urrutia and Cabrera. That's where Cabrera. That's supposed to be Ron. So Cabrera is stepping up. That is a tall task for, again, the best Division 3 team at 9-2. It's like, I don't know if that's gonna happen. So Division 2, go. This is the one. Honestly, match 3 is the one for me because Ben is the weak point, and Lalu and Arats are both solid. Although, like again, if you listen to our conversation with Stu, I talked about the Fireballs. They don't have any. They don't have any division team that besides their higher teams, like which is why this matchup, there is a lot of strength for the Fireballs in this. Their higher seeded divisions, or however you like, their higher numbered divisions, they're 5 and 6, like are there better teams with better records. Um, so like that's where their strength is, but they don't have their lower seeded teams. They don't have a lower seeded team where you're like, man, that team just goes out and mops the floor with everybody. Their lower seeded teams, or their Division 1, 2, and 3 teams, I think they're all right around 500, which is solid, but nothing where like, whoa. So where is the match of the game day? I think if you're the Fireballs, you are saying we have to beat Go Cherry and Ben. Could an upset happen elsewhere? Sure. I think it's really unlikely in Goanaga versus Flores. That's a Division 5. And that's where, again, because of the Ron injury, that would be Jedin and Ron. It's now Jedin and Cabrera. Cabrera playing again. And that's when we're like, Goanaga and Flores, I think they were undefeated last year, and this year they have a similar record, 10-1, only one loss, and they're taking on a Division 6 team where part of me is like, do you consider resting, like just forfeiting? Like, is it worth it to have Cabrera go out and play so many matches? Do you just fold on one of those and know like you've essentially, from the flip side for the Renegades, it's like it's on Go Cherry. Go Cherry has to get it done. He's a talented player. The Renegades are only going to go as far as Go Cherry takes them. If Go Cherry takes care of business, it's over. And it's hard because, last year I kind of like, as a bit, was like, if Go Cherry loses, people are going to call him Chokeary. That's what I titled the episode after they lost. A little bit of a bit, like I don't think he's actually that, but it's just like that's what people say about great players when you don't win, and he didn't win. And now here it is again. Go Cherry has to get the job done. Period, because you can't put it in Stan and Ben's hands in the final. And if Go Cherry gets upset either in the Division 1 game or the Division 2 game, it's almost assured that they'll go to that final set, and it's almost assured that they'll lose, which is, again, and which stinks for Go Cherry because now, like, last season when they lost, it was still in his hands, right? He wasn't the one who got upset. He did his job last time and then got to the overtime, and it was just one set. Anything can happen there, and he got beat. It is a tough loss. Here, if he doesn't do his job, he has to trust somebody else to save him, and he's at a disadvantage that the Fireballs get to pick that. So I look at this game day and like, who do I think is gonna win? like again, that's where I'm saying those division 1, 2, and 3 teams for the Fireballs, Lalu and Arats 5 and 6, right around 500. So it's like it's possible. I think Go Cherry and Ben are like 7 and 4, so a good record. But again, one match away from being, well, no, not one match away. They'd be 6 and 5, a solid record, but beatable, right? That's a beatable team, and that depends on Go Cherry. My one criticism of Go Cherry is I think sometimes he gets too aggressive, and Arats is the type of player where he can catch a lot of stuff. He can make the game day go long. And I think that's the thing. You got to wear out Go Cherry, and you got to put it in places where he's going to push himself to get the shot, because sometimes Go Cherry doesn't trust Ben, which you understand it. But I think that's what happens. Go Cherry doesn't trust Ben. He pushes too hard, and then he makes mistakes, and then he goes on tilt, and he goes even harder, and then he makes careless mistakes. And that's where you catch Go Cherry, because he gets caught up playing too fast, too aggressive. And that's the game for me. If the Renegades win that one, I think it's over. Because Go Cherry and Urbieta, that's like another, it's a 9-2 team, solid. And you have Urrutia and Arat 6 and 5, good, not great. Could they pull off the upset? Let's see. They have not beaten Go Cherry and Urbieta on the season. Their losses, one not close, one close. So I guess we gotta look up the other one to let you know. I guess I could have looked it up a whole lot faster. Here, Go Cherry and Ben. Ooh, so they did defeat. Go Cherry and Ben have been defeated by Lalu and Arats. And then they've lost to them. Interesting. They won, but had a negative point differential. So it was very close, and maybe one set they got blown out by them to have that negative point differential. And then they lost with a negative 7-point differential. That's pretty bad point differential there. So they've beaten Go Cherry and Ben before. That's the one. Whoever wins that, what do I think is going to happen? Who am I rooting for? I'm rooting for the Fireballs to win. I'd like to see a new champion in Battle Court. Who do I think will win? I think the Renegades are going to take it. I think Go Cherry gets the job done. So tune in today. God bless Alai, everybody.